Hey, listen, man, it's levels to this. You know what they say, new levels, new devils. Because you see, the bandits, they out here getting it. The rugged soldiers done been through some things. The hustlers and pimps, they just do things a little bit smoother. And the chiefs is everything above and anything in between. And, you know, sometimes you might have to just turn into a bandit, or you might have to just turn into a soldier. You might have to just be a little smooth. It just really just depends. But that's when you a chief. That's when you chiefing. We on some big back activities. Feel me? Now, Odessa kind of reminds me of Odyssey. That's an old story with no allegory. But you know, sometimes they say if it's really about rings, then Robert Horry got more rings than Michael Jordan. But that's a different story. What story, what legacy are you gonna tell? But shout out to Odessa. This is for my hustlers and pimps. So we're gonna do a story with holes in it. If you're unfamiliar with a story with a hole, listen to these first two stories. I have a third story for you as well. So, damn. This is a story with holes just has some missing information. You gotta kind of guess the rest of the situation. So, in this first story, this man is running away from home, and the second guy is chasing him. The second guy has a mask on. $1,000? The second guy has a mask on. What do you think is happening in this situation? What do you think is going on? Again, guy's running away from home. Second guy's chasing him. Second guy has a mask on though. I'll tell you what's going on at the end. But feel free to leave a comment to say what you think is happening. Story number 2. This one's not... I like the first one better. That one has some mystery. That one is like, what the hell going on? You run away from home? This next one's it's just a little different. So, the guy lives on the 12th floor of this building. Every day he wakes up in the morning, gets dressed, brushes his teeth, hair, yeah, all that shit, you know, leaves. Takes the elevator from the 12th floor to the first floor and leaves. He comes back. He takes the elevator to the 6th floor and then walks the rest of the way up. Why does he do that? Now this next story, I might tell a joke, but I won't tell her. All right, this next story. There's this guy, he burns his arm. How's his arm get burnt? That's some information for another day. He gets a call from an old friend just to check up on him. But when the call ends, he gets a knock at the door. It's a family member. He has a burn on his arm. Family members are like, yo, we gotta get this situated. We gotta get this handled. They go to the hospital. Now, in the hospital, there's this one movie where the guy takes his daughter to the hospital. They take his daughter downstairs, but then it's like, your daughter never checked in. She's like, here. He's like, yo, I dropped my daughter off and took her downstairs. Like, yo, somebody, I couldn't go with her. And then next thing you know, they out here sourcing the organs for the daughter and shit. But really, what ended up happening was the man low-key just snapped, and he unalived his wife and daughter, and they're in the back of the car. And the whole thing is it's a story of him trying to rationalize he can't cope with what he really just did. That's the story. Guy with the burnt arm. They get to the hospital. The nurse is like, you can't go anywhere. You're not leaving. The family member goes away, comes back with some food. Like, here. You know, sometimes you eat some food, catch the itis, go to sleep. But sometimes people slip things into your food that you eat. That's what you gotta watch. What you eat. Who's feeding you? What information? What knowledge? What's the source? So, man with the burnt arm, he gets put in the ambulance. And he's put into a mental institution. You ever seen Good Burger? Yeah. He gets put in a mental institution. He loses 8 days of his life. Is that a lot? I don't know. But if you had to be put in jail for 8 days, if you just all of a sudden just, one day you just woke up, it was just a normal day, and then that night of that day you was in jail, you might not be able to relate to it. You might not know how that feels, but during 1942 or World War II, whatever that shit was, they don't understand why the hell did he put all these people in these camps to concentrate and focus, and they don't understand, because Germany is a superpower. You heard of the German engineering, like, these niggas are smart. And there's a psychologist, and he's like, if you don't understand why or the intention behind what someone's doing, look at the outcome. So, with that, they could have very well stopped doing all of that, stop making all the people concentrate, focus on their attention on everybody else, and then went back to doing that. But that's not what they did. So it's like, well, why did you do what you did? What you kind of want to think about is, why do you think the family members put the burnt man in jail? That's a story that can be told for another time. But that's the start of the story. We're trying to figure out, like, what the hell happened. Story number 1. They're playing baseball. The guy was trying to steal home base. The catcher has the ball, the catcher has the mask, and he's chasing him back to third base. Story number 2, the guy's a dwarf. He's just short. So he can't only press the button on the 6th floor to go all the way back up. And that's what he has to walk through. He can only press the button to the 6th floor, and he has to walk the rest of the way. So yeah.